Boys and girls, this is the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and you're listening to Going In Raw, baby.
Hey guys, this is Charlotte, and you're watching Going In Raw. Going In Raw. That sounds terrible.
What's up? It's your girl, Sasha Banks, the legit boss, and you are watching Going In Raw. You like that?
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you can be listening to right here, youtube.com/Steven Larson. Wherever podcasts can be found, be sure to hit that like button, hit that notify bell, click on all. If you're listening to us on a podcast app, leave us a rating, review, or a comment. TLC is in the books, and you're looking at a new predictions champion, and the newest member of the Friendo Club is here to present your new champion, the title. Here he is, Cal Jack. That's right, he's the big heater. Oh, I got my title right here. Look at this. Oh, back where it belongs. It feels so good to be a winner, to be a champion.
Yeah, it's a feeling I don't think you're very familiar with these days.
Not very much, no.
I had a good 3-month run with that belt.
I know.
I think back of the Rumble.
Longest reigning.
Take some solace in that.
There you go. We got the Rumble coming up in about 6 weeks or so.
Yeah, I'll come back home then.
We'll see how that pans out for everybody. Anyways, Cal, thanks.
Actually, we got Wrestle Kingdom before that.
Okay. Well, there you go. You could win it back in a matter of 3 weeks. Cal, are you going to join us for our Wrestle Kingdom 2-night overnight live streams?
What is that?
4th and 5th of January.
4th and 5th of January.
Oh.
That's a no. That's a
I
no.
have a show on the 4th of January.
Are you going to be at the Tokyo Dome?
No, unfortunately, I'll be at Action Coast Wrestling taking on Juicy Usi, who is trained by Fale, which is
who will maybe be at Tokyo Dome.
There.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, there you
that'll
go.
be exciting. I got nothing else to tell. I am so tired. Hey, tell the friendos that came to my match last night, thank you very much.
Thank you,
appreciate
friendos.
it.
Came to
Appreciate
Cal's
it.
match. It was a
So-
blast.
Too good, me brother.
Too good, me brother.
Too good. But yeah, I don't know. I'm glad you won the title.
I'm actually kind of sad you didn't win the title. I was rooting for you,
You know
Cal.
what? That's like
Your
when
predictions were very
when
bold.
we were doing the what was it, fantasy football thing?
Yeah.
Everyone's like, "Oh, I want Cal to win the fantasy football." Here's the thing: I don't like football. I don't watch football. I just watch this. But apparently, I'm not very good at that either. So anyway, friendos, I'm gonna go drink these White Claws in my sports Fay Hyundai car and just I'm gonna pass. I'm tired. I get up early in the morning.
Well,
Don't drink those on the road.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna drink them in the car and then sleep in the back seat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's safe enough. But anyway, guys, I'll catch you guys later.
All right, bye, Cal.
Bye, Cal.
Be safe.
Text us when you do get home.
Yeah, text us when you get home, please.
I always do.
Anyways, TLC is in the books, Larson.
Yeah, bye, Cal.
What's our latest on the Steven Larson draft scoreboard?
I'm winning that at least.
Oh, no.
I've overcome a
man.
130-some point lead to take a 40-point advantage.
This is a double turn we got going on
Yeah,
here.
man. It's those double disqualifications Corbin got you on
I know,
on SmackDown this
man.
week.
I
That cost you. That cost you a lot.
But he won tonight on TLC. What did you think of the show overall?
I mean, it's your basic B-level pay-per-view stuff. There's some
think
good.
It was better than that.
It was good. It was good B-level pay-per-view. It wasn't a stinker like Backlash, 2016?
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of B-level pay-per-view, there was some decent stuff, but if you missed it, I wouldn't say it's a must-watch per se.
So I kind of disagree with that. I think that there was one, maybe two. There were two stinker matches.
Hold on, let's be serious about this. How much WWE content is really must-watch these days, anyways?
Well, that's just a philosophical. That's an existential question for any fan of wrestling, man.
Yes.
Like, there's so much out there. How much of your life do you want to devote to anything? I advocate just watch what you enjoy.
Yeah.
In terms of good wrestling matches, I thought that there were quality wrestling matches on this.
There was two. One of them was on the Kickoff Show.
Yeah. No, there was more than there was the Kickoff Show, the first match.
Yeah, those are the two best.
Alistair Black versus
Yeah,
Buddy
that
Murphy
good.
was a good
match.
match.
The first three matches were the best three matches on the whole show.
I thought you're right about that. You are right about that. I thought Miz versus Bray had some interesting stuff.
It was interesting more than good.
That's true. That is true.
Roman and Corbin was largely forgettable.
That was a Raw match. That really was a Raw match.
That was a Raw match.
Or SmackDown. They're on SmackDown.
SmackDown, sorry, yeah.
SmackDown.
Lashley and Rusev, that was a Raw match. largely forgettable.
Yeah, it was.
And then the main event started out pretty good, and then they were really going for like a purposeful sloppiness, and it felt like it kind of got away from them maybe a little bit.
Oh, not a little bit, a lot. That match was a mess. That match was an absolute mess.
Yeah.
I think you're getting there. I think on paper, the way they planned that match out, if they use paper, I think
Macho Man and Steamboat did.
Yeah. If you wrote down, if they wrote down this match on a legal pad, I think was probably pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Because the sequence of events and what was supposed to happen was good. It's just, I think that it was way too sloppy. Maybe they were too ambitious. And then I'm almost positive, I will almost guarantee.
Something happened with Kyrie, yeah.
I've not looked this up. Kyrie Sane had to have been concussed.
Or something.
Because she was a disaster towards the end. That spear from Charlotte and then the powerbomb.
That completely didn't connect. Or she no-sold.
Yeah.
Not like trying to.
I don't think she was trying to big dog anybody.
No. It seemed like a miscommunication almost.
I think that she was just out of it. I really do.
I wonder if she was out of it before that, or if that powerbomb through the table is what knocked her out of it.
They mentioned that when she was throwing those chairs into the ring, that one bounced back and
on
hit
her
her
face, yeah.
And I was thinking, man, maybe
that
something
could have rung
like
her
that
bell.
happened.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I think I was so like the first hour of the show was really good.
Yeah.
And then it's hard to like sit back and say, okay, yeah, it sort of went downhill from there. But you're right, it kind of did. Mm-hmm. So yeah. Anyways, the Kickoff Show did have a terrific match. Andrade versus Humberto Carrillo.
If there was one thread that ran throughout this, I'm trying to see if there's anything on here about Kyrie. One thread that ran throughout the show is that a lot of people looked like they were legit beat up after
a lot of people got beat up in this.
Starting with the Kickoff Show where Andrade got busted open and then had a huge like scrape along his under his arm across his chest.
Yeah.
He looked like he was beat to hell.
Yeah, he looked pretty bad.
I think it was a spot where he goes face first in the ring steps where he got busted open.
This is also one of those matches where you and I both, if we had known that this match was going to happen, and we had to put before today, and we had to put confidence points on it.
Oh, a lot on Andrade.
I probably would have had if there were 8 matches altogether, this would have had 7. Bray would have had the most.
Yeah.
And then this, I would have been so confident in Andrade winning this, and they gave the win to Carrillo.
Yeah.
They sort of, if you want to talk about the finish, they sort of replicated.
Yeah, they did they did the spot where Andrade sends Carrillo towards the ropes. Vega's standing there. He puts the brakes on. Andrade charges, but instead of knocking Vega off the apron, he puts the brakes on. Carrillo goes for the same type of Rana into roll-up type thing that he did last time. Andrade escapes that, does a roll-up of his own. Carrillo kicks out. But Carrillo still picked up the win. Finish this time, though, was Poison Rana into moonsault.
That was amazing.
Poison Rana off the second rope.
The second rope, yeah.
Into top rope moonsault for the win. But there was that spot where Carrillo sends Andrade into the ring steps, face first. And, it seemed like that's probably what busted him open.
Yeah, it was just an absolutely terrific match. Like you said, Poison Rana off the top, full of the moonsault with a win. And then we had a little bit more tease of this Almas Zelina Vega breakup.
I believe Andrade said, "I'm done."
Yeah. No mas.
No mas.
So I'm not saying that Andrade, I think he'd be fine on his own. I think he'd be better off leading a faction of some sort, maybe another LIJ of some sort.
Yeah.
Or just Los Ingobernables. Zelina, I really hope that they wouldn't do this unless they had concrete plans for her to manage somebody else. Mm-hmm. I don't know who that somebody else would be.
Maybe Carrillo.
Yeah, maybe. Could be.
But she's so good as a heel manager.
I know. That's the problem. I know.
But let's say she couldn't be good as a face manager, but she's just so darn good as a heel manager.
The people also kind of like her.
Yeah.
She's not quite to remember how much the people loved Lana when she was supposed to be a bad guy with Rusev when they first. Maybe not to that degree, but I feel like they would turn with her, but she's so good at what she does.
I also feel like if they turned her face to join up with Carrillo, you're kind of mitigating one of her strengths, which is her wrestling ability. The way that she can work herself into Andrade's matches to help him get the advantage.
Oh, I think she could turn that into a babyface thing. If somebody is trying to use illegal maneuvers against Humberto, you can do that.
I kind of feel like it's more effective as a heel thing, though, when she just gets that run off the apron or something. When the ref's got the back turn that's super quick. That's good stuff.
Yeah. As long as she stays around and is active, and as long as
she's
Andrade
really good.
is still active. Yeah, I was shocked at this win though, but I love it. I love it because I'm assuming it's just going to keep. They're going to keep on doing Andrade versus Umberto. Maybe he's going to move on. I don't know. Maybe he moves up the ladder. I don't know. There was that report from Meltzer, grain of salt, that Vince was done with Umberto, but evidently that's not the case. I know this is the kickoff, but it's not like he's wrestling on main event. This is a role that could have gone to like Ricochet or something.
Yeah.
And he's on main event fighting Cedric Alexander. I'm assuming he's not going to. I'm assuming he's not going to stay on main event for too long.
Too many people on their employ, man.
They need factions. They need factions.
They do. The TLC kicked off with a kind of a Firefly Funhouse. I call it the TLC edition, but it's pretty much just Bray hyping up the TLC card.
Yeah, that was an interesting way to.
I mean, Bray has filled many roles. The first time I think that he's filled a promotional.
Yeah.
Role.
Firefly Funhouse is hosting TLC now.
Mm-hmm.
So the card kicked off with the New Day versus the Revival. This was all sorts of creative and violent and physical and more creative, and it was tons of fun.
It was fun.
Just absolutely tons of fun.
It was a lot of fun. I don't believe anybody got busted up in this match, a rarity in the show. So early on, Revival sets up a ladder along the apron. They send Kofi towards it. He avoids. He jumps over it into the ring. He tries to baseball slide the ladder into the Revival. Revival pick up the ladder as he's sliding and then start beating them with it. Mm-hmm. That was really creative. There's a lot of really creative spots.
Very creative.
Kofi does a springboard splash. Following that, into the ladder. So he takes the brunt of the ladder as he's jumping on it, but in doing so, he sends the ladder crashing down onto the Revival.
He put the needs. He put the needs of the many above the needs
of the few,
or the one.
In
this case.
Yeah. Big E puts the ladder on the apron, puts Dash on it. He's going for his apron splash. Dawson pulls Dash off, so Big E doesn't splash Dash. He splashes ladder.
Yeah.
Pain ensues.
Splashes himself.
Yeah. Kofi goes for a trust fall. Revival catches him. Toss him face first into ladder on apron.
Yeah.
Big E gets the ladder and he starts climbing it. Scott Dawson drop kicks him off. He starts selling the knee. Big E, that is. Revival then do a double drop kick of the ladder into Big E's front area.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was
painful.
It was good to see because I'm not sure they would have done that if he actually busted his knee because it looked like it could have been bad.
Because when he fell, he got his knee twisted as the ladder went over.
Yeah.
And he just came back from knee surgery.
And yeah, you see that and you see the giant scar still on his knee. It's like, oh, that's not good.
Yeah, you don't want to see anybody bust their knee up. So Kofi's on the ladder. Revival tried to push it over. So the ladder's falling. Kofi jumps off the ladder onto the ropes, balances for a second, jumps towards Dawson, hits kind of a DDT, and after that kicks Dash. He scales the ladder again. Dawson's there trying to pull Kofi off the ladder. They eventually do and hit the Shatter Machine off that.
That was awesome. I'm assuming that what is it? Total Divas Episodes has gifts of this. Like, we're describing this stuff, but honestly, you just got to go look at either watch it or just
because the creativity in this match is next level, man. It's really
like that bit
stuff.
where you describe Kofi, like comes off the ladder but stands on top of the ropes while he's holding the ladder for leverage. Oh, it was so good. Yeah.
Later on, Revival tried to climb the ladder. Big E gets in. They get down. Revival does. He hits the apron spear on Dash. Like, so much momentum behind it.
Yeah, this was a pay-per-view. This was a pay-per-view apron spear. Yeah, that was great.
And then there's one ladder in the ring. Big E sets up another one right next to it, and then bridges one from the turnbuckle to one of the rungs of the ladder, puts Dawson on it. He gets on the top rope. Dash gets up there, crotches Big E across the top rope. And then Dawson suplexes Big E onto the ladder that's bridged across. It starts to bow a little bit, and then Dash puts E through the ladder with a top rope splash.
Yeah.
Dawson climbs the ladder to get the belts. Kofi springboards onto the ladder. Dash climbs up too, so they have two ladders next to each other. They're all brawling up there on the top of the ladder. Dash keeps driving Kofi's head into the ladder, so Kofi has his legs through the rungs and is leaning backwards.
Yeah,
but he's it's like suspended. He's there on the ladder. He's not falling off. So Big E goes up there too, and he hits a big ending on Dash off the ladder.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And so Dawson's up reaching for the belts. Kofi pulls himself up, comes to, hits Dawson in the head with the titles, which puts him kind of through another ladder, and then he goes up, gets the belts. New Day successfully retained.
Yes. Yeah.
Hell of a match. A lot of fun.
Good stuff. And I'm glad this was changed because I don't think this would have been the same match if it was. I mean, Dolph is a creative enough wrestler, and Bob Roode is great. But the Revival are just so
Revival
creative.
are one of the best teams.
And they have such amazing chemistry with the New Day. Of course, the Revival, a lot of people are speculating where are they going to go. They're going to be free agents soon-ish around Mania, I think.
Yeah. Shortly thereafter,
I personally, I think there's so many great tag teams in WWE. I mean, the Usos are still going to come back. You got Redragon. I'm not sure if they're, if they're ever going to go to Raw or SmackDown anytime soon, but still, this was just absolutely.
Regardless where they go, WWE, New Japan, AEW, there's great tag teams everywhere. They'll put on just awesome matches across the board. Next, we had a Baron Corbin interview, essentially saying, "I'm not really worried about Rowan." That's the extent of it.
Yeah.
Foreshadowing of how he's going to get some help.
There's just too much Baron Corbin.
Way too much Baron. At least it didn't main event. Next, Buddy Murphy versus Alistair Black. Before the bell, they're doing they're sitting down in the middle of the ring, staring at each other.
Yeah, Alistair Black was wearing green trunks with a weird poo emoji thing on the back.
Yeah, so he had some sort of logo on the back that was all black, so it looked like the silhouette kind of a poo emoji.
Like a glossy iron-on thing.
Poo emoji.
Of a poo emoji.
And we were wondering, did he lose his stuff? Did his luggage get lost?
Right.
But he had his vest
Like
that had
a
a bunch of
fancy
weird kind of like
vest.
molded gold foil stuff on
Did he
it.
rip his shorts?
And
then he also had like a green, like matching army green.
He had one
kick pad.
Kick pad but he had his usual kind of spiked kick pad too. So I think that was purposely his gear.
I think it was, yeah. He was trying something new and he shouldn't. He looks great with all black
The
gear.
black pleather
Maybe
gear.
that one time he wore pewter and it looked kind of cool.
Yeah.
In NXT or it was like maybe pewter, gray, something like that.
Yeah, gunmetal.
Gunmetal. It looked great. It looked okay.
Yeah.
Didn't look as good as black.
No.
I wish he would go with the tight. Remember those weird house shows
man,
where he
had
wore
the tights?
tights?
That was great.
Maybe he's too constricting for what his moveset is.
And part of it too is this wasn't, like his usual tights or his trunks are glossy like pleather or something like that. This just looked like basic not latex, spandex.
Looked like indie gear.
Yeah, it wasn't the best.
That was
gear.
another thing apparently that Jericho said at that meeting
Team
that he
meeting?
called the team meeting.
Yeah.
He said some of you guys need to upgrade your gear. You look like indie wrestlers.
Wow.
Oh man.
Wow.
That's too funny. Anyways, this is a fun match though,
It
and
was fun.
the drama was heightened, I think, by Alistair Black busting open his nose, his upper lip, something where that.
Oh, sorry, it was Alistair that got busted up in the ring step spot. I remember when Andrade got busted up. Sorry, I confused those two spots.
Yeah, that drew like a ton of blood because he was super bloody in this match.
He was bleeding from his nose, upper lip area.
Yeah.
So they do the seated stare down thing. Bell rings. Alistair goes for like a black mass pretty much immediately. Buddy escapes. They start doing a bunch of stuff on rings or in the ringside. Come back in. Alistair has the upper hand. And then Buddy eventually gets the upper hand, dropping Alistair on the ring steps, and that's when Alistair was busted open the ring step spot.
Buddy gets a hold of Alistair's vest, and he's like dicking around with it, trying to put it on, and then Alistair gets back in the ring. Buddy tries to get the upper hand. Alistair fends him off, and then hits a kick when Buddy jumps off the top rope.
And then Alistair goes for a dragon sleeper. Buddy avoids it, gets kicked into a turnbuckle. So they're up on the top, jockeying for position. Buddy sends Alistair off. Alistair runs back up towards the top. Buddy tries for a sunset flip powerbomb. Alistair blocks it. Instead, he hits a series of cheeky Nandos from Buddy. And then Buddy eventually hits the powerbomb anyways. Gets him a 2 count. Buddy goes for a Kamigoye. Alistair catches it. Buddy instead kicks him in the head, then hits a Kamigoye, followed by a brainbuster. That gets him a 2 count. And then there's this great series at the end where they were trying to do some strikes and moves and stuff, and they kept blocking and reversing. And eventually, out of nowhere, Alistair hits the black mass and gets the win.
Yeah.
It was really great because it was fast and it was really well coordinated.
And it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
It was a good punctuation.
And then out of
mark.
nowhere.
Yeah, it was good stuff. Then we had a Rusev interview.
I went to the bathroom during this. What happened?
Cal was talking about how he was happy that we were talking crap to him. And I said that you're too polite to do that, and that I generally that's what I do. Mm-hmm. And then you came back, and Rusev was not on the screen, so your guess is as good as mine.
All right.
I'm sure he said something about Lana and Bobby Lashley and
I
tables.
would suspect because that's the match that was happening between him and Lashley.
Yeah.
I suspect that'd be the topic of conversation.
Yeah, maybe. We had the club coming up after that, answering the Viking Raiders challenge. But before we talk about wrestling clubs, here's a word from the sponsor of today's show, the Dollar Shave Club. When we talk about Dollar Shave Club, we're talking about quality products. They've spent years developing, crafting, and refining everything, so you have everything to look, feel, and smell phenomenal. Look at the shave I got here, Larson, just today. This face is as smooth as a Carl Anderson spine buster, and that's a testament to the quality of Dollar Shave Club's products.
And as awesome as all their shave stuff is, Dollar Shave Club is way more than just razors. They've also got you covered from head to toe. Dollar Shave Club has everything you need to shower, shave, do your hair, brush your teeth, heck, even wipe your behind.
That's right. And you can get all this without leaving your house.
Yeah.
Dollar Shave Club will keep you stocked up on the products you use whenever you need them, whether it's once a month or a couple times a year. And it's all delivered right to your door. Now, I never have to worry about wasting time at the store wondering if what I'm getting is any good. With Dollar Shave Club, I know what I'm getting is quality stuff.
And right now, you can put the quality of Dollar Shave Club's products to the test. Their Ultimate Shave Starter Set has basically everything you need for an amazing shave. The Executive Razor, Shave Butter, Prep Scrub, and Post-Shave Dew. And best part is, you can try it for just $5. After that, the restock box ships regular size products at regular prices.
Get your Ultimate Starter Set for just $5 at dollarshaveclub.com/GIR. That's dollarshaveclub.com/GIR.
So, yes, you mentioned it.
Viking Raiders came out to
Open challenge.
open their challenge up. And as you had predicted, we both predicted, I guess.
Yeah. The OC answered the challenge.
The best tag team in the world.
Yeah, they brought their giant trophy with them.
Answered the challenge. And
they had a promo, too. I think it was kind of funny.
yeah, I don't remember much of it.
Yeah, I remember
Cal was probably in the middle of a story.
Yeah. He's got great stories, though.
No, I'd rather hear his stories than anything that's going on here. So, yeah.
It was a fun enough match, but
internet double count out.
yeah, why do they do a wonky end? So War Raiders, they do hit Viking experience. You think that's that? Gallows comes in to break up pinfall
At like 3.1 seconds, let's be honest.
It was a little late.
It was late.
It was a little late. Oh, you didn't mention there was like 3 people eating a bunch of KFC ringside.
Yeah, this particular match or the pay-per-view, whatever, was sponsored by KFC.
But this match especially was
This
double sponsored.
featured this was the feature. Maybe this was like it was like the KFC main event. Like, remember when who was it? The Kiss Demon?
Yeah.
He had his main event match. It was like mid card.
That could be.
It was the special main
Surprised
event.
they didn't have Carl Anderson come out as the Colonel.
I know.
Colonel Anderson.
Or I mean, AJ wasn't doing anything. Why did he
true.
come out
That's
as
true.
Colonel Uncle Allen?
I know. That'd be pretty funny anyway.
Yeah.
So after that, Hansen hits a suicide dive, and everybody's laid out on the floor, and there's a double count out. But the brawl continues after the match, and eventually Carl Anderson, after the War Raiders dump a bunch of KFC on the ground.
2 boos.
You probably pop for that, though. You don't like KFC.
I'm not a fan of KFC.
He gets powerbombed through the KFC table.
In
So
fact,
even double count out, Carl Anderson more or less takes a loss.
during our live stream tonight, so Cal was like, "Oh man, that KFC looks great," and I was so happy because you fucking read my mind, and you said, "Hey, how about we get some Popeyes?" And I was like, "Yes,
I did it for you, man.
I appreciate that because that Popeyes was hella good.
It was really good, man.
It was so good, man. Oh boy, I'd be sponsored by them in a heartbeat. I'd take that KFC money too, but I wouldn't be honest about it." Anyways, after that, we had a Miz interview.
Talking about match with Bray.
I think we had another Cal story.
After that, we had King Corbin versus
I am
Roman
not running
Reigns.
through these moves. I'm not running through this match. This is the most raw match.
Yeah, it was a TLC match. It was supposed to be, and yet it took like halfway through the match for like a table to be introduced. It just kind of plodded along
And
without
again,
a whole lot of purpose.
Dude, it's no DQ. It's a TLC match. And again, like halfway through the match is when Corbin's backup arrives. Like Dolph Ziggler shows up halfway through the match.
Yeah, right. It's about Roman's about to spear Baron through the barricade.
Starts introducing handcuffs, dog food. Roman takes them out. He grabs a kendo stick. Baron security
like
guards.
endless supply of security
everywhere.
So like when Roman comes out, there's like 15 security guys out there. Like this is a scheduled match. Why is Baron allowed to have security? It just doesn't make any sense. So Roman doesn't beat all of them up.
Yeah.
I mean, he was distracted at the beginning. He got the upper hand pretty
This
easily.
particular part was hilarious, though, because Baron's security guards are obviously local enhancement talent.
Yeah.
There's local wrestlers. And they come running down one by one. And and like 10 steps ahead of their contact point with Roman Reigns and his kendo stick, they lift their hands up to take the kendo stick.
Yeah.
And it's one thing for it to be an isolated thing. It's like, okay, that's how you take the kendo stick. You throw your hands up.
Yeah.
But one guy does it. The next guy does it exactly the same way.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't, it looks stupid.
Yeah.
It doesn't look good.
It doesn't look good at all.
It's not sexy. It's not sexy
It's
like
not
it
sexy
should
like
be.
it should be. So anyway, Roman takes out all the other security guys. The Revival come down. There's no New Day in sight. You got Dash Wilder taking off his shirt with the FPOS rib tape on.
That was funny.
So why in the hell would they help Corbin, much less Dolph, who when Bob Roode is around, they're in the same division, tag division. Why would you want to cooperate with them? Doesn't make any sense.
I don't know.
Doesn't make any
Bob
sense.
Roode's suspension is going to take him through like mid-January.
Yeah.
So maybe they had wanted, they'd obviously planned for some sort of mini faction.
Yeah.
With a tag team and Baron Corbin. Now it's going to be tag team. It's going to be Baron, Dolph, Mid-Carter, and a tag team.
Until Bob Roode comes back, though.
And then it's going to be weird.
Anyway, so the Revival, they take it to Roman, ringside. They put him back in the ring. He takes them both out with the Superman punch. And then so you have the Revival, you have Baron, you have Dolph, you have some of the security guys coming too, all in the same area. Roman does his dive over the top rope, which is great. Takes them all out. He's in the ring. He Roman is and sets it for a spear, and then Dolph just chucks a chair at Roman right at his head.
Dolph was on one tonight. He was a little bit extra.
Yeah, he was. Followed with a zigzag. The Revival come in. They hit a shatter machine, and then Baron sets up a chair, hits end of days on it to get himself the W.
Yeah, and it's funny because I noted this during the stream. The entire feud is over Roman being a locker room leader and Baron Corbin thinking he's not. Well, I'm sorry, but that kind of proves the point. Nobody came to help Roman Reigns.
Not during the match, but afterwards.
Yeah, like way afterwards during a brawl, like after he had already... Like, the important part is done. He lost the match because nobody came out to help him.
I know, that was
If
lame.
he's a locker room leader, aren't you sitting there with their monitors looking at this, watching 5 guys beat him up?
Like there was in the brawl at the end, there was guys that are on Raw.
Yeah.
That were brawling for Team Roman.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
It's ludicrous.
It's pretty silly. Pretty silly.
It was pretty silly. Anyways, next we had The Miz taking on Bray Wyatt.
His entrance was great.
I watching this, I was like, wow, why didn't they just do this for Bray the whole time?
Oh, no. See, I'm totally fine with... I like the idea of mixing it up and using what works best for the story.
No, I understand all that. But the Firefly Funhouse Bray is far more interesting, has far more dimension to him. There's more going on. The Fiend is fairly one-dimensional at this point.
Yeah.
I find even though the match was more or less laid out as it would with the Fiend, i.e. Bray gets his butt kicked a lot.
Oh, he sold a lot more, though.
He did. He
sold
totally
a
did.
lot more.
But he gets his butt kicked a lot and just hits one finisher to win.
Yeah.
Because he had a skull-crushing finale. And yeah, when's the last time the Miz won with the one skull-crushing finale? It's probably
Right, but
2015.
Miz didn't even go for the pin, though. That was the thing there.
And so, nonetheless, I don't know. He comes out and he's playing to the crowd.
Oh, I know. It was great.
It's
He came out to
fantastic.
the Firefly Funhouse music.
It was fantastic.
That was rad. He had the blue universal. I like this. I like that depending on the story, it depends on who you get. The Fiend is one aspect of him. I like all that stuff. I think it's good. They just need to, all they need to do is find a way to book the Fiend matches a bit more creatively. I know people crapped all over, but that Hell in a Cell one with Seth Rollins.
Yeah, I had a point to it.
You and I still we're agreeing on that one. We both like that.
Yeah, I didn't see anything wrong with that.
Because I still don't understand the idea that there shouldn't have been it's Hell in a Cell, not supposed to be a ref stoppage. Well, nobody's gonna.
When there's basically attempted murder, you kind of have to do something about it.
You got to do something about that. Anyways.
I think people, I don't know if they looked at it from the big picture.
It'll be interesting now that Daniel Bryan's back, because basically what happened was the Fiend ended up, he beats crap out of the Miz on the outside. He gets back in. Miz barely beats a 10 count, but as soon as he stands up, Bray hits him with the Sister Abigail, gets the win. The Fiend shows up on the Tron.
I still can't tell if that was a still or just a video just holding really still.
I don't know.
I thought I saw him move at one point.
I don't know.
And so Bray looks at the Tron. And he's not mic'd. You just hear him say, okay, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And he goes, gets the giant mallet from under the ring. He takes it into the ring. Lights come down. You're like, oh, is a Fiend going to show up? Lights come up. And there's Daniel Bryan with a hoodie over his head. Drops Bray with a knee plus. Takes the hoodie off. He's got no hair.
He looks literally like he
American
did
Dragon, yeah.
Like he did in 2000.
2010, yeah.
Literally the same.
Yeah.
When you go back and look at him in Ring of Honor in 2005, this is what he looked like.
Same.
Yeah.
Actually,
veganism, people.
He looks a little thinner in the face.
Veganism.
Yeah.
It's literally the fountain of
It
youth.
seems like it.
I've known of several people, anecdotally, like not personally. I know one person personally who was diagnosed with cancer. I'm not saying this is an end all be all to cancer, but like he was diagnosed with cancer, turned to veganism. He was fine. He didn't know more cancer. I'm not saying that cured him. He also went through the normal stuff you do for cancer.
Yeah.
But it definitely probably helped. Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, eat more vegetables, probably better for your overall health.
Generally speaking, it's probably good for you.
Generally speaking, yes. Anyways, he does a bunch of corner drop kicks. Bray reverses one. Comes charging towards Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan hits another knee plus. Follows some Danielson stomps. He's about to hit Bray with the mallet. Lights go down. Lights come back up. Bray's gone.
So, they totally missed, again, the middle segment of this story.
Yeah.
This really should have been, look, man, Daniel Bryan and Bray have both seized on the idea that when you fight the Fiend, I really think that, like, Seth's heel turn and Finn's heel turn were coincidental to the fact that they both feuded with the Fiend and they went and turned. However, the creative behind this, whether it's Vince, Bray, Bruce Pritchard, whomever, has seized on the idea that once you fight the Fiend, you're not the same.
Yes.
You change.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan is evidently no different.
He's now American Dragon.
But
here's the thing: if he's going back to kind of his roots, because in his Ring of Honor days, he was vicious. Mm-hmm. Like Danielson stomps, he would need to stand there and grab someone's arm and kick their face in.
Yeah.
I mean, his finisher back then was called cattle mutilation.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if the idea was to bring back American Dragon Daniel Bryan, then bring back American Dragon Daniel Bryan or Daniel Bryan circa 2010, whatever, and don't have him do the yes stuff.
Yeah.
And have that be kind of the reinvention because of the attack from the Fiend.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel like they're trying to accomplish two things at once.
Yeah.
Kind of take Daniel Bryan back to his WB or his pro wrestling origins, essentially, American Dragon, while yet still kind of placating the crowd with the yes stuff.
Yeah, I know. You can't have it both ways. Not for it to be true storytelling. And I also just think that there should have been some aspect of Daniel Bryan having to come back from this on camera, like having to deal with the trauma of whatever the hell happened under that ring with Bray ripping his hair out. Mm-hmm. I really wanted to see how he came back from this on camera.
Yeah. I'm
sure he will tell us on Friday.
Again, show don't tell though.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it could have been an interesting story given that, Daniel Bryan was a member of the Wyatt family before, and then he broke free of that. Now I'm trying to remember when he was a member of the Wyatt family. I'm trying to remember storyline wise. No, he was never under some spell of Wyatt's. He was always Daniel Bryan. I'm trying to remember why he joined the Wyatt family, like what that story was. And they had the cage match where he beat Wyatt. It was like if I beat you, you have to join my family. So he's a member and reluctantly, something like that. I think that's what it was.
But even before that cage match, he had the
he was wearing the
overalls.
Yeah, the overalls.
Like that. Yeah.
But in this case, it could be, since the Fiend beat him, he has no choice but to surrender mentally, emotionally, all that. And what I thought was going to happen, that the lights were going to come back on, and it was going to be Daniel Bryan
with Fiend mask,
and he was going to attack The Miz even further, the guy who was trying to help him. And then you can have a whole story that, goes through the Rumble all the way to Mania, where when he tries to break free.
Yeah. That'd been kind of interesting if from that point on Bray had just been Firefly Funhouse Bray, and then Daniel Bryan kind of assumes the role. He
gets the role of the Fiend.
That could have been interesting.
Yeah.
Again, that's interesting storytelling in this. But
and they skipped that whole chunk.
Yeah, I know. Well, but let's wait and see what happens between here and the Rumble, because maybe they have something up their sleeve that's interesting or something. I don't know.
I hope so. I mean, they've obviously given Bray Wyatt
a lot of latitude.
And traditionally they've always given Daniel Bryan.
Well, we heard just recently the number of people that he's more or less said, okay, I want to do this with that person. Like apparently, according to Kofi Kingston, Daniel Bryan
he was the driving force,
partially responsible for the WrestleMania match.
Yeah.
In terms of advocating for him backstage.
Yeah.
So it seems like Daniel Bryan puts, at this point in his career, telling good stories and above everything else.
But could you imagine like Daniel Bryan in like the Fiend gimmick, and he starts doing the Danielson stomps, but they're like even worse. Mm-hmm. They're even more vicious.
Mm-hmm.
Man. And then, I mean, there you can tell an interesting story about how he has to go back to his roots in order to break free of the Fiend, you know?
Yeah.
But we don't get the middle story with Vince. Like, it was the same thing with Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt back then.
You don't get the middle part of the story.
You don't get the middle part of the story.
They're buddy, and then he burns down the compound.
Yeah. Oh, I swerved you. No, you need to see the build happen.
Yep.
Anyways, after that, we had Lashley and Rusev. Lashley won that match by putting Rusev through a table. After that, we had the Street Profits.
Well, we can go through it a little bit. People who tune in for this probably because they didn't watch TLC. They would know kind of the essential story beats if you want to hear them. It was a bunch of, it's a tables match, so you got to put someone through a table to win.
Yes.
And they teased a bunch of table spots. It didn't happen. Eventually, table spots happened. Early on, I'll just run through this real quick. I took the trouble to take the notes. Let me read through them at least.
Okay, fine.
Early on, Lashley gets
like 3 of them.
Dominator. Sets the table. Rusev basically no-sells a Dominator, which used to be Lashley's finish.
Oh, he sold it for a sec. We didn't, again, the camp. So, like, he sold it because he was on there like, and then, like, you cut and Lashley's milling about. And then you see Rusev bolt around the corner as if, yes, nothing had happened. But it's not like it wasn't like the Fiend. He just got
I know. But it was a span of like 10 seconds. He took the move, maybe 15, and then he's back.
Yeah.
Up. He essentially no-sold what used to be Lashley's finish. Anyway, he starts taking it to Lashley. They're up on the ramp. Rusev suplexes him up there. He tries to put Lashley through a table, and then Lashley like jumps over the table and sends Rusev into ring steps. This is in the ring. Anyways, Lashley tries to suplex Rusev through a table. Rusev fights out, sends Lashley to the apron. This is this spot. Rusev is punching him, trying to drop him through the table. Lashley fights him off, tries for a suplex, then he's fought off, and then Rusev hits Lashley with an elbow, and that sends Lashley off an apron. There's a table right there, but he jumps over the table, not through it.
Yeah, there were a bunch of times that like one little goof up wrecked this match.
Yeah, I know. Rusev gets a steel barricade from somewhere in the crowd, like the only piece of old school steel barricade probably in the entire arena. Gets it, hits Lashley with it, sets it up against the ring, and then Lashley choke slams him through it. And that thing bent in half, basically. Lashley then gets kendo stick, starts taking it to Rusev. He sets up a table in the corner. Again, more kendo stick shots to Rusev. Rusev catches one of the shots, grabs the kendo stick, starts using it on Lashley. Then he breaks it in half, which probably wasn't a great move. Hits him with a Machka kick, and then Lana comes in, jumps on Rusev's back, starts going after his eyes, I believe. And then she hops off. Lashley spears Rusev into a table. However, the table didn't break. And
so you know why? Because he set it up weird.
Yeah, the bottom leg was down.
Yeah, he couldn't figure out how to like do the little thing. I mean, sometimes that is kind of a pain in the butt.
It is.
You ever tried to set up a table before?
Yeah, I did do that for something. I was like,
I've never done it in a wrestling match, but I've done it in like real life.
Yeah, sometimes a pain in the butt. And so he just picks up Rusev and then just like slams him through the table. Thankfully, there's a table in the opposite corner.
Yeah.
So he's put him through that one.
That was set up correctly.
And he's put him through that one. Bob Lashley wins.
Yeah. So it continues. I know you want. I know you didn't want it to. That's why I won this title. Because I knew it was going to happen.
It's lame.
They're going to keep it going.
Lame. Next,
pretty lame.
We got a Street Profits promo where Angelo Dawkins tells Bob Lashley that he should get a vasectomy.
It's kind of not Angelo Dawkins' business for.
Maybe
it's
Lashley
a pretty big
and
deal.
Lana want to start a family together.
It costs like $8,000 to get it reversed, and even then, it's only successful like I don't know, it was like 70% of the time.
Because if you get it reversed, that's an optional procedure. You have to pay for that out of pocket.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas if you get it done in the first place, insurance will cover it.
I know that personally.
Anyways, they're talking, and then a huge brawl is going on backstage. You got Roman, some of his buddies, Corbin, his henchmen. They're all just brawling all over the place.
Yeah.
It wasn't the last we'd see of them either.
No. Although that last bit at the very end of the show, it was goofy as heck.
It was goofy, but considering, I don't know.
But I liked it. I thought it was funny.
Why not just have that to conclude this, like have them fight in the arena, and then let Osku and Kyrie, they win those tag titles. Just let them celebrate.
Yeah, I know. I do not disagree with that at all. We talked about this a little bit, but we'll go through some of the bits here.
Yeah,
Becky
because
and Charlotte versus
it
Osku
was
and Kyrie.
sloppy, and then it seemed like towards the end it was teetering on the verge of falling apart. There was a lot of fun stuff going on.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Like, we're looking at this on paper now because you wrote this down, all these notes here. It's really good, like fun, brutal, physical, creative match.
Really fun stuff.
The rope stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, again, it teetered on DDT Pro.
Yeah, it was pretty
for
great.
sure.
Though.
But I don't know. I'm a fan of that stuff. If you want to mix in a little bit of like goofiness, a little bit of comedy.
At one point, I was like, "Oh, they're turning this into a comedy match, huh?"
Like they sort of like maybe somebody saw Joey Janela tying up Tully Blanchard.
Oh God!
It was like, hey, we need our own rope spot.
But Kyrie, she did a much better job of tying Becky that ladder, and a hell of a knot too.
That knot was fantastic.
I mean, she is a pirate princess. She should know how to tie a knot or two.
She's a nautical.
She enjoys her nautical
pursuits. She's a pirate.
Yeah. Early on, Charlotte and Becky, they get Kyrie on the announce tables, and they're just like tossing her back and forth from one announce table to the other a couple times. They go back in the ring, and then Asuka throws a chair at each of them, and then Asuka and Kyrie, they're taking the chairs to Charlotte. Charlotte eventually, though, drop toe holds Asuka into chair, and then Charlotte bashes Kyrie's head into the ladder. Becky hits a baseball slide on Asuka, and then Becky and Charlotte try to powerbomb Asuka through a table. Kyrie breaks it up. However, eventually, Becky and Charlotte hit a reverse powerbomb on Asuka into the ring post. And that's when Kyrie just starts throwing chairs. And the first one bounced off the rope, and we didn't see it, but commentary, I think Joe said, oh, that looked like they hit her in the lip.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it bounced off the rope and hit her back in her face. She at that time, she didn't really like sell like anything was wrong.
Yeah.
Because she started grabbing more chairs, and some were getting in the ring, some of them weren't. And Becky and Charlotte were like, what the heck?
Is that where they go down and she goes under the ring at that point?
I think it's later on.
Okay.
That's later on.
Okay.
And they're kind of like, what the heck? Oh, yeah, it is right after that. So Charlotte and Becky, they throw some of the chairs back towards Kyrie. Mm-hmm. They get out of the ring. She goes under the ring. They pull her out. She has a fire extinguisher. And Asuka produces a giant rope.
Ooh, look at that look on her face at that point.
Ow. Is that when she gets hit the chair? No, that's when she picks her up after the powerbomb through the table.
This was towards the finish.
That's what, after Charlotte powerbombed her through the table.
Yeah.
I know. I was wondering if that was that powerbomb was when she got hurt.
Maybe, but the spear, even the spear and the powerbomb that preceded that, the powerbomb into the table, she had such a hard time getting up.
I just wonder if that was miscommunication. Like she was supposed to take...
And the spear, though?
She was supposed to take the spear, and there's miscommunication there, so that was wonky. And then Charlotte, I'm guessing there was supposed to be some spot to set up something else, just picked her up and did it.
Yeah.
And maybe Kyrie's like, well, you're picking, what's going on here?
Maybe
she got kind of confused. I don't know. Or maybe she got hurt before that. I just don't know when or where. Because that powerbomb through the table was nasty. Anyways, so Asuka dumps Becky onto a ladder. And then Asuka and Kyrie's already kind of started the rope around the ladder. They tie her on there. And a hell of a knot, too. They dump Charlotte over the barricade. And then Asuka and Kyrie, they get a ladder in the ring. They set it up. They start kind of casually climbing up. Charlotte runs in with a kendo stick. She lays out Asuka and Kyrie. She goes over to try to untie Becky. Asuka nails her with a chair and then drives her in the ring steps. Kyrie goes to the announce table, goes for an inside elbow on Becky. Becky gets her knees up, frees herself, and then Becky and Charlotte just start taking it to Kyrie and Asuka, just like toss them all over the place, beating the heck out of them. Becky puts Asuka through a table with a second rope leg drop to ringside, and Charlotte tosses Kyrie into the ring steps. So now I'm going through here and wondering if Kyrie did get her bell wrong, where it happened.
Well, okay, so there's one note here on Twitter. I'm doing the same thing. I'm going through it. After this, so like she had a monitor thrown at her head, but those seem like they weigh like half a pound. Somebody said after this fall, into the wall or exposed concrete. Remember when she went? Becky did the exploder into the barricade and it was the exposed concrete.
Yeah.
But it didn't look like she would have hit her head there. Yeah, something was off though.
Yeah, something was off. Whether it was before that spear and powerbomb combo or right afterwards, I don't know. Anyways, Charlotte tosses Kyrie in the ring steps. Kyrie reverses a double suplex ringside to a double DDT. She puts both of them on a table. Hits an insane elbow, but Charlotte gets out of the way, so she only kind of hits in on Becky. And that's when the spot ringside happened, where Charlotte goes for a spear, and like she runs towards her, tackles her around the waist, but Kyrie doesn't fall immediately. She kind of stumbles, and then Charlotte picks her up, forces her up essentially. She picks her up, and it wasn't usually the motion of a powerbomb. As you pick them up, the person who's taking the powerbomb does a sit up.
Sit up, yeah.
Well, Kyrie didn't do that, and so Charlotte had to pretty much muscle her up to powerbomb her through the table. So I don't know if that's when she got hurt or before that. I don't know. But yeah, Osku went over to check on her, and that grimace on her face was from that, where she looked like she was miserable.
Yeah.
Just miserable.
Bad. And then even after that, you could tell like Becky Lynch gave her some chair shots, and they were just as gentle as can be.
And they were talking and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So Asuka drops Becky and Charlotte, buries them under some chairs and a ladder. That's when she gets Kyrie up, and Kyrie's obviously hurting. They put a ladder in the ring. They set it up. Becky and Charlotte come back in, laying at them with some chairs.
So there's another one person here who says that suplex into the barricade definitely concussed Kyrie, saying, here's the referee checking on her, and she looks kind of loopy walking back. There's like a little
video.
Maybe a video of it. Let's see if we can figure this out here.
That was afterwards.
This is right after it, yeah. The ref was just checking on her.
So that was before the spear and the powerbomb.
I'm telling you, I don't think that spear is bad communication, man.
That could be.
I think that was
I just didn't
before
notice.
that.
I just didn't notice anything.
It wasn't as noticeable, but even before that, it was like the match was just starting to break down a little bit. So who knows?
Okay, that's when Charlotte tried to untie her. That was pretty early in the match then.
I'm trying to see when Kyrie walking back right there. That's either good selling or it's.
Yeah, that's the thing. I couldn't tell.
You can't really tell. It's hard to
It really wasn't until that spear and powerbomb spot you thought something was up.
Yeah, for sure.
Because even up until then, there's several spots where it seemed like everything was okay. It seemed like everything was okay.
Yeah.
Where was I? So Charlotte's setting up Asuka for a moonsault off the top rope to table on ringside. She goes to the top. Asuka meets her up there. Power bombs her through the table. So Becky puts the ladder in the ring, or the ladder with the rope tied to it gets in the ring at some point. Becky sets it up, starts to climb. Asuka has her hand on the rope as Becky's, halfway, 2/3 way up. She pulls the ladder, knocking Becky off. She gets back in, sets the ladder back up, climbs, gets the tag titles. Asuka and Kyrie successfully retain the belts.
And then don't we get to see them celebrate?
Not a second. Not even a frame. Instead, we cut to the crowd, and there's that brawl we saw just before the match, getting to the crowd, and then it ends with Roman spearing Baron off like some platform on everybody else.
When's the last time we had a pay-per-view end with some asinine brawl that started an hour prior?
I don't
Doesn't
recall.
happen. It never happens.
Because it shouldn't happen, especially when people
you had
successfully
Kyrie
retain
saying,
their title.
Main eventing pay-per-view with Asuka, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch. The women's tag titles getting the biggest spotlight they've ever received, and deservingly, by the way. Let them celebrate the damn moment, as opposed to making us endure one more Baron Corbin spot. Maybe do that.
If I'm looking at this
Garbage
optimistically and giving the company the benefit of the doubt, maybe they're like, okay, obviously Kyrie is hurt. We don't know what the situation is going to be. Let's just call an audible here and end the show this way. So in case Kyrie's really hurt, as soon as Osku gets those belts, we can get trainers down to her immediately.
I wouldn't have been shocked by that, but the nature of the spear off the thing was so specific.
Exactly. That's why I don't think it was audible. I don't think it was an audible at all, because why would they have that platform out there?
Yeah, I know.
It was just something that's obviously set up in advance for that spot.
Yeah.
But it's a complete bummer. It's a bummer. Asuka and Kyrie have done so much to establish those tag titles, even just over the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, I know.
Give them that moment to celebrate.
Yeah.
They've done more to establish those tag titles as a real thing.
Yeah.
More than basically any. Granted, those people have held those titles as short, and there's been a lot of really good teams. And I'm not saying it's the fault of any of the previous people that have held it, that they haven't really been established as well as they have. Because creative by and large for the women's tag titles up until
been an
late
afterthought.
has been not good.
Yeah.
But they're coming around to booking them well. Asuka and Kyrie have hit it out of the park with their current run. Even just the last 3 weeks, they've been doing awesome stuff, and to get that moment, main eventing the show, and not even giving them 10 seconds to celebrate is bogus.
Yeah.
It's
at
bogus.
the same time, like if Kyrie was a mess and needed to be medically attended to, then it's either let them celebrate and go off the air, or maybe they were meant to celebrate and then we get the brawl after a little bit of celebration.
Entirely possible. And they just bumped it up a bit.
It's difficult to give Vince and the WWE benefit of the doubt though, because they have a bad track record.
Yep.
So in any event, TLC was what it was. There was some quality stuff. There was some not quality stuff. There it is. Be sure to join us tomorrow. I think we're just going to do a news brief.
Yeah.
Because we've got some stuff to work on ahead for the upcoming holiday
so we can
break.
take a couple days off for the holidays.
Yeah. So thanks for joining us. If you've been watching the show and you enjoy it, hit that like button. It really goes a long way towards helping the show.
Subscribe, hit notify, all notifications.
That's right. And if you're listening to us in the podcast realm, leave us a rating, review, or a comment. You'd be surprised. It really does go a long way towards helping out the show.
It does help.
We appreciate it.
It does help.
Thanks for watching. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.